What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday. So today we're going to be doing our ETB update, talk about a couple boxes, but we're also going to be talking about the promo cards in each set because this is something that a lot of people forget about. And if you've been paying attention to these over the past month or two, a lot of these have been moving upwards at a fairly rapid rate. So we will cover that today and talk about it because I do think if you invest in ETBs, it kind of is the X factor when it comes to the investment. You're not just relying on the packs inside from that set, you're also relying on the promo card, which can play a big role in the success of the Elite Trainer box. But starting off, we will talk about Hidden Fates because it's still moving up towards $400. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's a $400 box at this point. The graph is just a little bit behind. You can see here, most recent sales, $400, and that was from a couple days ago. July 7th, you had one at $436. You had another one at $436 the day before that. So even on TCG Player, all over $400. On eBay, it's basically the same thing. You might see the odd sale at like $370, $380. And on eBay, this box is still selling at a fairly fast rate, and there isn't a ton of supply out there. So it could continue moving up to like $435, $440. I still see that as a possibility. And if we want to take a look at the promo card, the Glass Birds, Moltres Articuno, this card moved from about $35 early in January up to around $128 a couple weeks ago. That's a massive move. And even if we look here, late May, this was around $55. So more than doubled within a month. We're now sitting around 110, and most recent sales on TCG Player are actually closer to that 100 mark, most of them there. So this card is definitely pulling back a little bit, but still about double where it was at the end of May. The next couple sets, Champion's Path and Shining Fates, these were both up. Shining Fates is around $93 now. Champion's Path, $124, $125. Nothing crazy. There's still a lot of inventory out there on the secondary market, but the sell-through rate was up on Shining Fates this week. I think it was like over 12 ETBs per day buy it now. And if we want to take a look at the promo cards here, the Charizard V is actually making a fairly significant move here over the past couple weeks from around $5 up to around $8. So that's like, what, a 60% gain. And then the Eevee from Champion's Path moved from around $2.50 in the middle of June to around, what is that, $4 at its high. Celebrations is continuing to climb. It's basically a $200 ETB at this point. You've seen sales even higher than that, towards $220. A lot of this had to do with the Greninja promo popping off. This thing went from around $8, $9 up to around $25, $30. We're now back down to around that 15 mark, but still, that's a fairly significant increase on this promo card in just a couple weeks. And the Celebrations ETB is still in a place where I think it could move up to like $220, $230 fairly quickly. There isn't a ton of supply on eBay, and this week it was still selling at a fairly significant rate. So unless we get that sell-through rate to slow down or we get more supply on the market, it could continue climbing. Now, Pokemon Go next up, not really an exciting set. This was interesting to look at for a while just because there wasn't a ton of supply out there. Out of all of these boxes, it was one that actually had the lowest amount of supply. This week, though, there was a new seller that put up, I believe, almost 100 boxes of Pokemon Go. So even though it's probably going to continue moving, somewhat like Shining Fates, just at the back of the pack, moving up with everything else, I don't think it's ever going to go crazy, and definitely not anytime soon. The Mewtwo promo card, though, we should talk about this a little bit. It has moved from around $3 at the end of June. It hit $4, so that's like, what, a 33% move. Probably closer to that $350, $360 mark at this point. But you can see the trend here. Pretty much every promo card from Hidden Fates onwards is up over the past couple months. Same thing goes for Crown Zenith. The Lucario promo has actually made a huge move from around $5, hit almost $10, so that's basically a 100% return within a month. We're now back down to around that $8 mark, and most recent sale is under $7, but then you can see same day, $8, $8.30, so it probably is closer to that $8.25, $8.30 range than it is $7. Now, the ETBs, on the other hand, have slowed down over the past couple weeks on eBay and TCG Player, and I think this is just because it's not a $60, $70, $80 ETB anymore. This is $175. We're getting close to that $200 range, so it makes sense why it would slow down a little bit. But Crown Zenith, still a great set. I'm super bullish on it going forward. You guys know I have about 30 ETBs. I still have a lot of the booster bundles. And if you own Crown Zenith, I would recommend just continuing to hold it right now. Another set that you should be holding is 151. These ETBs were down a couple dollars this week to around 242, 243, but still selling at a fairly decent rate on eBay right now. Out of all the ETBs we're going to talk about today, besides Hidden Fates and Celebrations, this is probably the most likely to continue moving up week over week. The sell-through rate is just really strong, and we're not seeing the quantity of boxes get replenished fast enough. Also, the Snorlax promo is moving up a little bit, not too much, but it's moved from late June. It was around $6.50, maybe closer to $7. We're now at around $9. Now next up, we have Paldean Fates. This box is around $187 at this point, and the sell-through rate was down this week on this box. It's back in its kind of normal range, I think the last couple of weeks, where all that we're gonna see in terms of this box having a crazy move anytime soon. The Mimikyu promo card has made a move though. It went from around $3.75 up to around $6. So that's a fairly significant move for the regular promo card there. Shrouded Fable slowly moving up, like your Shining Fates, like your Champion's Path in Pokemon Go, up to around $65 right now. And the Petron promo is, I think, probably the only promo card that's not really doing anything crazy over the past month. It's actually moved down. It was up to around $1.50 at its high. We're now sitting around $1.23. So not really anything to discuss here. It's a change that's so small, it's almost not even worth talking about, but I figured if I was talking about all the promo cards today, we had to include it. And then finally, we'll talk about Prismatic Evolutions. You can see here on TCG Player, this box is up to $110.49 again. I think in the spreadsheet, it was 108 something, and that's because I took the numbers last night, like right around midnight. But I'm starting to think I should probably just wait on some of these till like 10 a.m. because TCG Player clearly updates at some time in the morning. Either way, this box is back to $110. That's not really surprising to me. I mean, it is the best set of the Scarlet and Violet era. I've actually been picking up more Prismatic over the past couple months, and I'm going to continue doing so for basically the rest of the year. And I think it's just going to take some time for the boxes out there on the market right now to get chewed through. The sell-through rate was down a decent amount this week. I think we're around 50 boxes per day. Last week, this week, it was around 35 or something, low 30s. So it fell a decent amount, but still, it's a much higher sell-through rate than any other box that we're talking about. But it kind of just goes to show that when this box was like $90, $95, people were buying it up in droves. And for the people that think it's going to be like a $40, $50 ETB, if that were to happen, you would literally see thousands of these being bought per day across all the marketplaces online. We should also point out that the promo card is making another move up. It was down to around $5.50 late June. We're now sitting around $8-ish. Most recent sales on TCG Player from today, $7.95, $6, $5.26, and 156 were purchased at $8.99. Now, I'm not sure whether I'd make a $1,400 investment into raw copies of the regular promo card, but clearly someone thought that it was a good play right now. Hopefully it works out for them. But that's going to be it for our discussion today. I think to sum everything up, Hidden Fates, Celebrations, wherever it is over here, and then 151. I think those are the ETBs that will continue to move in the short term. I think everything else is kind of starting to level out, and we should see slow, steady growth over the next 6 months or so. As always, you guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. Are you buying promo cards? Do you invest in these? Do you view them as a long-term hold, a short-term flip? Also, if you got some value out of this content, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.